Good evening. I hope you're doing well tonight. And I have a super duper fun technique for you tonight. I will wait and see who joins me. Hey Lori, how are you doing?
Hey Lori,
Oh,
how are you doing?
thought I had dialed down the volume. I guess I didn't. Now I did. Okay. So tonight's technique is called Faux tile. Now, what we're going to do with that, and I did a sample just so that you could see. Here is a sample of a faux tile. So think of like your bathroom tiles, your kitchen tiles, that would be those accent pieces, right? That's what we're going to do tonight. So I'm going to go over our measurements. You are going to need 1 piece of cardstock, and I chose white because that's going to be my card base. It is 4 1/4 by 8, and then I scored at 5 1/2, so that I have this little piece here, which will be getting a pattern piece of paper that is 2 1/4 by 4. Excuse me, I have the hiccups, by 4, and that's going to go right here. Then you'll have a secondary pattern piece, something that's not super busy, but something that has a slight pattern to it. So I chose this one that I had used last week because it was such a soft pattern. I felt it wasn't going to distract from the focal piece, which will be our technique piece. And that's going to be 4 by 5 1/4. Then you'll have a piece of white cardstock that is 2 3/4 by 3 1/2, and then a colored cardstock that would match your pattern paper that is 3 by 3 3/4. Those are going to get layered on the inside. Now this is going to be our focal piece. So I have a piece of white cardstock that is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and then a coordinating cardstock that matches my inside, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So let's get started. I am going to start with my white piece that is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. And I need to do a little bit of prep work before I start the tiling process. Good evening, Mary Lynn. So let's get that started. So what I need to do is I actually need to do a little bit of stamping, because I want to do my stamping before. Actually, no, I'm going to do my stamping after. We're going to do our scoring first. So on my sample, I have run it on a diagonal. You can run it on a diagonal. You can run it straight up and down. Totally up to you. But you just want to try to remember the same distance between each tile, so to speak. Okay? For this one, I am going to run it going straight, not on a diagonal. Okay. And I'm going to do every 1/2 of an inch. So I'm going to first start using my right hand side of my paper trimmer, and I'm going to use my stylus, and I'm going to run it down. So that was that first 1/2 of an inch, and I'm just gonna run it a couple of times. So that was a 1/2 of an inch. Now I'm going to go to my inch, because that's going to be now another 1/2 of an inch. And with your stylus, you don't want to go too heavy-handed because you will rip your paper. And now I'm going to go one more 1/2 of an inch before I go flipping it. Okay, so now I'm going to flip. So that was 1 1/2 Now I'm going to come over here to my 2-inch. So I was a half, 1 inch, 1.5. Now I'm 2 inches. And now 2.5 is next. And then 3. And that should be your last for this side, because then you'll be at the last half, which would be your 3.5. Okay, so I've done all the way across. So it was a half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my cardstock 90 degrees. So now I will be starting, and actually I'm going to work my way backwards. So I'm going to start at my 3. So now I'm going to have that cross. My lines are going to be crossing each other. So that was 3. I'm going to go back down to 2.5. I see a few more people have joined us. Now I'm going to go to my 2. This card is going to be so pretty. My mom and I actually went to the Lavender Festival on Friday out at the Blake's Orchard in Armada. It was our first time ever going. It was beautiful. There were so many vendors. Okay, so that was my 1.5. Now I need to go to my 1. We took the little train out to the lavender field and we picked our own lavender, and then we brought it home, and I have it right now sitting in my bedroom, which just smells ever so wonderful. And now I'm going to do a 1/2 inch, and I could have put it over on that other side just so I had a little more paper to hold on to. Okay, so this is what you should have. We're not going to do anything else to it. We're not going to fold it. We're going to keep it as flat as we can, okay? So I'm going to move the paper trimmer out of my way. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper and a blending brush. So now I'm going to use Lilac because that's what's going to match my paper. And I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to give a halo all the way around. I want it lighter in the middle versus the edge. The edge can be slightly darker, and I'm okay with that. And I'm just going right around. I'm not using a heavy hand. Oh, I have all my windows open. Our air conditioning went out last night. So hopefully the company can come quickly this upcoming week, since they're forecasting some 100-degree weather by the end of the week. And I don't know why it went out. We had it all tuned up right at the beginning of summer, and we were going to bed and we're like, why is the house so hot? This is a little crazy. Okay, and I think I want to go a little darker here on these edges, just so that you see the tile effect. And then I'm going to stamp right over this. Okay, however, I forgot to grab Blackberry Bliss, which is what I need. Thank goodness my ink is so close to my table. All right, we're going to open up Blackberry Bliss. And let's get out our stamps. And I believe I'm going to use this cluster right there. Oh, maybe I want this one. Let's see. This one Takes up more real estate. But I kind of like that one too. Wonder how that would look. Ooh, that would be kind of pretty. It just doesn't go into the center. No, I think I'm gonna stick with what I had done, just because it, there we go. Now I can finish my sentence, because it will actually go into that center part. So I'm going to put that on my block, and I know it looks like I didn't clean it, but I have cleaned it. Okay, and remember, with the Stampin' Up ink pads, I don't need to go crazy with it. So I'm going to do this corner, and I'm going to press straight down, and I'm going to hold it there just for a little bit because I really want it to absorb into my paper. Oh my gosh, is that gorgeous? Oh my. And it's a lot darker than the sample because I did second generation for this one. And I'm not going to do second generation, obviously, for this one. All right, let's ink it again. And this time I'm going to rotate my stamp. And I'm going to let it stamp off. I'm going to let it sit there for just a few moments. Patty's here, Mary Lynn's here. This is awesome. We have five people on tonight. Lori, is Jeannie with you, or is she in her own home doing her project? Oh my gosh, you guys, this is turning out so awesome. All right, let's ink it again. And I think since that one's going this way, I'm gonna bring this one in right about there. Okay, and we have one more to do, and I think I'll do it like the back side of it, the bottom side of it. And we're gonna put it right there. Now, as you're stamping, you can see that the stamp did not go all the way into those grooved lines, or if you stop and think like tile, that would be your grout line. So it's perfect. It turned out exactly how I wanted it. I love when that happens. Okay, and we're gonna, you know what? We're going to touch up our corners just a little with a tiny bit of the Blackberry Bliss, just so we have that variation. I'm gonna grab one more blending brush because that one's for my light purples. And I need one for dark purples. So I'm just gonna tap, and I'm just gonna blend just a teeny tiny bit right along the edge. Oh my goodness. While we were at that lavender festival, we also I made body butter, and my mom made some sugar scrub. And then a friend of mine came, she met us out there, because then she was going to go visit her great niece for a birthday party. So she's like, I'll just meet you guys there. I'm like, all right, great. Oh, ladies, that looks amazing. Okay, let's close up our ink before you know who wears it. Alrighty, so now let's get back to building our card. All right, let's bring this all back in. So we know that this piece is going to lay on top of my cardstock, the colored cardstock that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So let's put that on right away. And I'm just going to center it because it's going to give me that nice little border. Lovely. Okay. And let's start okay. We are going to put this piece first. And you know what? I think I want to do just a hint of ink blending on a few of these pieces. So let's do a little bit on each of these. Let's grab our scrap paper. I probably have just enough on here. Oh, I do. It's just a hint is showing up. However, I do need just a tiny bit, I think. A little will go a long way. Okay, and then let's do it on our 2 1/4 by 4. Just that little hint. There we go. And this one you'll really be able to see because there's nothing else. This is right where our sentiment would go, which of course I have an idea for that one tonight. So now we have that real pretty shadow on those 3 main pieces. So here we go. Now we can assemble. So I'm going to take that 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. And the reason I chose not this side was because it was way too busy and it would detract from our technique. So I'm going to lay this inside, giving it just those tiny little borders. Now let's close the flap and we're going to put the other pattern piece. This paper is called Perennial Lavendar, and I am not sure if it's still available or not, but it's so pretty. And I know purple is Patty's favorite color. And I hadn't used it, so I was like, we're using it. All right, so now this focal piece is going to get it adhered only to this top part. So I'm going to turn this over so that I can see right where I need my adhesive. And I'm going to be a little generous with this, just because it is the piece that people would be moving and to open their card. So I'm going to be very generous with my adhesive. Now remember, don't put it on that bottom part, because what you're going to do then is you're going to close up your card. We don't want to close up our card. So let's open this up. Burnish it real well with our finger. Okay, let's grab the other colored cardstock. I'm going to put my white piece onto that. Okay, just like that. And we're going to put our adhesive on this. Now, I need to make sure when I go to close my card, we don't see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right along that bottom of that edge. I'm going to center it. And then I'm going to take the back or the bottom of my card and I'm going to flip it. So now I know that they're going to lay perfect together. Now watch. Ta-da. Isn't that awesome? All right, we need to do some sentiments on this. And I had grabbed Saying Something ephemera pack. I thought, oh, we might be able to find something in here that we like. All the best. Not sure if I like that green with it. You're awesome. Again, not sure if I'm liking that green. Let's see what else there is. All right, what's this? Oh, we have a hello. That's just white. It doesn't pop as much as I would hope. So let's see what else we have, because there's other options in here. We just have to be patient and find one that we like. Love you. Now that actually looks very pretty with it. Let's see what else. I have another green down here of some sort. Oh, good luck. Not really digging that. I am not digging that at all. Here's a thanks in white, and we could always color that. Congrats. That's a possibility. Let's see what else. Wishes, wrong color. Let's see. Follow your heart, it knows the way. Forever and ever. Oh, what does this beautiful look like? Oh, I like that. Okay, that's a great inside sentiment. Here's to you. Oh, I think I like that better than the love you. I like these because they're gonna give me something other than a stamp. And I felt, okay, I already stamped here. I don't want to do another stamp. Plus they have inside sentiments. Okay, here's birthday. And I could go over it that in a different color to make it pop. That's an option. Let's see what else we have. What is this? This is a confetti sparklers and streamers kind of celebration. Oh, look at that. I like that. And I think that's what I'm going to go with. And I'm going to go with the word birthday. But we are going to ink blend it just a little so that it will be a little bolder before the wind blows that right off the table. Okay, so let's move the birthday, and we're going to take our sentiment that we just picked out, and that is going to be the inside of our card. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on that. And this does not look like it's straight. There we go, much better. It wasn't straight, and that was driving me bananas. And this is gonna lay right in between, like so, and that I like. All right, so let's bring that birthday back in, and I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss because it is bolder. And all I'm doing is like a pouncing, and I'm being really gentle because this is so dainty. I'm being very careful as I'm changing the color of this. Now, this ephemera pack, they just came out with a couple of new ones, and there's some really good images. And the bonus part of it, they're already pre-sticky. So they have a sticker back to them, unlike last year's. Last year's didn't have a sticker back, so I have to use my glue. But the ones from this year, they are pretty amazing. And I'm just going over it all as a second time, and I'm kind of pouncing it this time, so it'll give it a little bit of a texture. Okay, let's close up Blackberry Bliss. All right, and we're gonna grab our liquid glue. And that I'm gonna put right there in the middle. Oh, is that pretty? That is so pretty. And I'm just doing some little dots. This card has 0 foam tape on it. So for those of you who are like, stop with the foam, this one has no foam on it. Next week, our class will be a scrapbook page. And the photos will actually be from the Lavender Fest that we just went to. This way, I will be very current. I'm going to put birthday right there in the middle. Let's press it. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. All right, and now we need to add a few gems. I'm thinking I might want green. Let's see. There we go. Yes, let's do the green. All right, we need our, take your pick tool. And circles or hearts? Definitely not the stars. So circles or hearts? I think I'm going to go with hearts. I'm going to go with hearts. All right, that one did not want to come off. So let's flip this to the spatula side. And I'm going to put one right there. And let's do a medium one. Here, and I think I'm going to use a tiny one as the dot of my eye. Right about there. That still creates my visual triangle. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Now, isn't that a fun card? I love it. Something a little different. So again, I will move this video over to the YouTube channel tomorrow. And if you could, send some of your friends over there. I'm really trying to grow that channel, and it would mean the world to me if you could like and subscribe to it. That would be super helpful, because Facebook is deleting all of the videos after 30 days. So if you're going to want to watch, you're going to have to go over to the YouTube channel. And next week we will be doing a scrapbook page, so stay tuned for that. And then the following week we'll be back to some cards. So we're bringing that scrapbook back in because there are some people who do scrapbooking still. Alrighty, so you have a super great rest of your Sunday, and stay cool at the end of the week, okay? And I will see you all super soon. Good night.